Welcome back to No Money Spent. In today's episode, we're going to go over some new strategies. I think it's time to change things up, as well as continue the Hut Champs run, talk a little bit about the Leafs and Bruins and the rest of the playoffs, as well as the draft lottery, the real Stanley Cup. Let's get into it. All right, so something I haven't really changed much since the beginning of the year is going from the overload to really anything else. This year, one of the more frustrating things that goes on in this game is that once you've actually set up in the offensive zone, whether you're using overload behind the net or crash the net, your AI legitimately will not move to get open. It's one of the most frustrating things in the game. So once you've got the overload set up, they just kind of stand still, which makes it obviously a little bit more difficult. I think the overload requires your players to kind of not move as much, which only feeds into this issue. Now, I've been trying to use some other things, so we're going to go to behind the net as the offensive strategy. We're going to clip the sliders all the same. The carry and dump at 0, cycle and shoot at 10, efficiency energy at 5, and don't block at 0. And we're going to go to behind the net because at least with behind the net, it kind of promotes rotating around. We're going to see if that really does anything. On top of that, we're going to mess around with the abilities again. The Truculence update, while effective, not as overpowered as I thought it would be. And I'm wondering if it's because a lot of players have 99 endurance or 99 balance, whatever it is. It's just not as impactful if you only have a few cards. So we're going to kind of redo the abilities here. Victor Hedman, we're going to throw shutdown on him as well as quick pick. And I have used shots from point at nauseum, so we're going to go Seeker as well. We've got 90 AP to play with. So with Chris Pronger, don't need to go all in on shutdown. We'll go with Truculence as well as quick pick. And you know what? Heat Seeker. Cale Makar, I was using elite edges on him, and while it's like fun, I like to break the puck out like up the boards with wingers. So we'll go quick pick and Heat Seeker and shutdown. All right, on to the first line. We've got Unstoppable Force. Oh man, Unstoppable Force has been so frustrating because I really think it only really works in NHL 24 on shove checks. I've talked about this a little bit lately. And because everyone uses total controls, or a lot of the player base does, and they use circle or B to hit, those aren't shove checks. Shove checks are just tapping up on the right stick. You're not seeing a ton of it. And Unstoppable Force is so good at stopping those from triggering the stumble animation, especially when you're cycling it. So I think we're going to go make it snappy elite edges here and maybe shrug it off. Maybe. Let's try it. Teravainen, he's got third eye. We'll go elite edges and make it snappy as well as shrug it off. McKinnon, edges, make it snappy. The only thing I don't know is, no, we'll leave it. We'll leave it. Make it snappy on Healy, edges, and man, I wonder if my second line, we should go Unstoppable Force, like gold Unstoppable Force, see what happens. Edges on Gretzky. Demko, we are going to throw light work on. Gordie Howe. I mean, Truculence is only 6. We'll leave that on. And we'll go back at you as well. Silver Truculence on Kachuk. With Mario, edges. Ooh, I kind of want to throw close quarters on, just fun. But instead, with 9 left, we'll go quick pick Heat Seeker on Hamilton. Actually, you know what? We'll go shutdown, and then we'll go beauty back in. There we go. All right, let's see what happens here. So, as you can see, 10 games in, still ass at the game. 6-4 with 10 to go. Trying to get back into the groove of it, you know, a little bit. It took like 2 months off from playing regularly, and man, there are some grinders that are still playing. A lot of good players out there, so let's go. All right, here we go. Let's see what we can do here. So I guess we got to talk about it a little bit, man. The Leafs losing yet again. And, you know, I think the game was actually pretty good. The drama of it and what's going on is just what makes it insane. The fact that, you know, Wall is out. You got Samsonov in. He actually plays pretty good. You know, like, it's just, it was one of the more insane, dramatic, like, just series, but it featured a lot of bad hockey. Like, there was games where either team took the entire game off. You know, game 4 for the Leafs, game 5, and really game 6 for the Bruins. You know, just, but in the end, oh, here we go, maybe. Set it back. Big hit from Pronger there. That's a bad breakout by me. All right. Gotta not chase there. Jason Robertson card ended up being pretty good. All right, here we go. Just gotta get the puck in, man. Break-ins have been really bad so far. All right. Hit circle. There we go. I actually starting to love that play. That's gross. All right, we gotta walk through that a little bit. I want to show you guys. I've been doing this more and more. So on the breakout, right here, if you look up here where Kachuk is, once they get going and they get to the line, they'll cut left and right, and more often than not, the player you're playing will not focus on it, all right? So watch, he'll cut into the middle, and he's starting to focus on me. He's not looking behind, and it's just a seed right through the middle. So whenever you see me slowly break the puck out or bring it back, I'm looking at the blue line for the 3 players to go through the middle left and right. And I've been doing that more and more, and it's wide open half the time. Love that. All right, big goal for Kachuk. Beauty backhand. What a clutch call with the AP. But yeah, so Leafs and Bruins. Bruins move on. And, man, the Leafs, I feel like Sheldon Keefe, 1,000% fired. You've got Shanahan, gotta be out, I'm assuming, as president. And then it's personnel things. Like, I thought Marner played really well in Game 5. But he just, dude, there were so many times in this game where you see the same problems with Marner, where in the playoffs, there's no time and space, and he just is frail. Like, he circles away from the play, never drives the net. And, you know, I just think that it doesn't conduce itself for playoff hockey. And I think that he's in his head. There's been times over the year where he said he's had to delete social media because he pays attention, and you can't pay attention in Ontario. So I would suspect he's gone. I don't know how you facilitate a trade, especially because he's got a no move clause. So he might just say, nope, I'm not going anywhere. Which is crazy, because then in negotiations, I think that is also a pretty wild tactic, because if he's like, give me more money or I'm walking, right? Like, let's say 11 million or 12 million is the offer, and he wants 12.5, and he's like, I'm just not signing. And now you have to, and now he has a full no move, so he's not going anywhere. So it's like, man, that's a lot of power. Which is scary. He'll get his money wherever, right? But I don't know. I thought Bertuzzi and Domi throughout the regular season were kind of mediocre, but as the season went along, they got better, and I thought Domi was the best player in the series. Or one of them, especially when Matthews was out. And I thought that, you know, Bertuzzi got into a dive-off with Marchand. How did that miss? But I thought that he was what you need in the playoffs as well. I thought he played really well. Send it across. Let's go! McKinnon! All right, a little behind the net. Okay. I mean, we weren't really behind the net there, but that's okay. Ooh, okay. All right, after a brutal start, we're back. We're back. Oh, I also upgraded Mario and Gretzky to their 97s. Power collectibles are tough now. Like, you just need so many, which is why I'm playing HUT Champ. Okay, good first period. That's a good first period. We bounced back there. Yeah, we bounced back there. I think that a couple things did happen in the Leaf series that are good for them. Number one is Joseph Wall appears to be the real deal. However, you know, injuries are a major concern. You know, he missed a lot of time in the regular season. And, but he appears to be kind of the type of goaltender you need in Toronto, where you just don't give a shit about anything, you know, on the outside. There's no noise. And, so that's huge. I think Samsonov's probably gone. But what's crazy is that in the regular season, it's always defense and goaltending is the issue. The Leafs scored like 10 goals in 7 games. You know? Now, obviously, Nylander was out the first 3. Matthews was out the second 3-ish. You know, but still, they can't score. And their defense and goaltending played pretty well. Now, Boston's team is really mediocre. I think that's what that series showed more than anything, is that Boston is, you know, they are about to go, not full Pittsburgh Penguin, but because Pasternak is still pretty young. And so is McAvoy and Swayman, so you've got a nice little core there. But, you know, Marchand's older. Their center depth is non-existent. Coyle is a great second, an unbelievable third-line center. But first line, it's like, he really didn't do much this series. A lot of stuff coming. A lot of change, which is nice. I think for Leafs fans, I feel like, you know, while you lost, this one has to spark some change. You know, I don't think you're going to see the same 4 guys and the same coaching staff, and what more importantly, Shanahan gone. Shanahan's the one that always protected, you know, the core guys. He kept running it back, and that's why Dubas is gone. Not that I think Dubas was a god tier GM. You got to go backhand there, brother. Big save. I think this Demko has been nice, too. I've also got to get away from trying to use my defenseman defending the rush. You see so many, like, higher-end players just will not touch their defenseman defending the rush, and it's because you don't intercept the puck when you're manually controlling it. Let's see if we can get a nice little dot. Yep, there it is again, see? Nice, I should have fired that, dusted it off. Bang! Dude, back at you is so fun to, like, you know, like, actually activate. Go. Saucer? I mean, what a goal! All right. You know, every once in a while, you know, the thumbs, they come back to life. They get a little rejuvenation. Saucer into the middle. Robertson cuts in. Was that Robertson or Barzal? No, Robertson. Oh, man. Freezes the goalie a little bit on the saucer into the middle. This used to be a goal you could do in 22 and 23 all the time. Also, love that camera angle. All right. We're starting to buzz a little bit. Dare I say I'm back. The only problem is they don't, like, trigger this breakout. Is he going to let it up again? I mean, dude, it's just right down the seams. If you don't have someone paying attention, it is the easiest feed ever. So if they control that centerman and they're just trying to, and they're not going back and going left and right, and they're not attacking you, oh, man. It's just wide open. I hope that this kind of play is still in NHL 25 because I'm just starting to realize it so much now, and I don't know why. Because obviously I'd always like to go up the boards on the breakout, but it just that's clearly. Woo, Hedman. Good force. That's a good force. Not good. Not good. All right, we got to wake up here. Letting him back in it. Oh, my God. 85 Taylor Heisey. Putting on a clinic. I got to put quick draw back on Matthews. I just like having someone that has quick draw is just really key. All right, he's got one more shot than me. 7 minutes to 3 time on attack. Haven't really utilized behind the net. All the goals have come off the rush. He surely can't give up another one, right? Oh, he backed right up. All right, let's see if we can get behind the net going. I want him back on that far side there. Tap it in. Ah, what a bad force by me. All right, rotate all the way around. I want to go back to circle there, but that's a penalty. You can't do that. Okay. But now, yeah, now the real Stanley Cup begins. The draft lottery. The San Jose Sharks have a chance to draft first overall. And I mean, this is one of those years that I think you need to win it. So I have this thing that, like, winning the draft lottery is awesome and definitely a huge boost to your franchise. But you have to get lucky to win the draft lottery. But on top of that, you have to get lucky when you win the draft lottery. Like, getting first overall and getting Alexis Lafreniere, like the Rangers did, and then winning first overall and getting, let's say, you know, Jack Hughes, 2 different years, you win the draft lottery both times, which is insane luck, but, you know, that is a massive difference, right? I think this year, there's a clear number 1, much like Bedard was, but not nearly the same level in Macklin Celebrini, but then there's like a mushy middle of like 4 guys they could take, which I don't want any a part of, because, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather this is who you got to take, it's industry consensus, this is it. But Mike Grier has done a really good job for the Sharks. I'll be honest with you, I had no faith in him. I didn't want a new GM going through the rebuild, but he has pretty much won every single trade and draft pick that he's made. He's done a really good job. So we'll see. If they can get Macklin Celebrini, I do not expect him to win. Getting first overall means nothing. I think you have a 25% chance to get it, which means you have a 75% chance of not getting it. But the lowest they can fall, I believe, is 3. Which is, thank God, because that team needs at least a top 3 pick every year for probably the next 3 years. But Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith would just be so much fun. So much fun. I just wish that in behind the net that they would stop running into each other a little bit. Like when you start cycling. Oh, man, are you serious? God, this game. Big save. Come on now. Oh, that's not it. I wasn't going to go anywhere. All right, let's go, Hamilton. Ooh, you were dead. See, this guy right here, I can tell when you do those animations, it means that you're using B to hit, which is, like, just useless for unstoppable force. Whenever you see someone do those, like, what? Okay. I mean, like, ugh. Gordy, where are you going here, brother? Right out in front? See, I like that. You know, like that's at least they move a little bit as opposed to. I mean, this probably shouldn't have been a game, but hey, they made it. EA wanted to make that an interesting finish. I mean, dude, that was a diving. He dove into Demko. I mean, 12-18 to 501. That was just an insane goal. Insane. So some other things when it comes to the team and what we're going to do going forward is one of the major issues is that essentially 9 forward slots are locked up. So, you know, McKinnon, McDavid, Teravainen not going anywhere. Either is Heatley, Gretzky, Lemieux, Gordie Howe. Austin Matthews, I'm going to turn into his team of the season when it's worth it. I think that his Elites card is still sort of better just with like gold quick draw. I like it a lot. So, and there's a pretty big cost to get him to his team of the season, but I will do it. Kachuk's not going anywhere. And then my fourth line is just all the free flashbacks. So I guess I've got 3 forward slots. So when it comes to the master set players I make, they've got to be like unbelievable, which is a kind of a major issue with like Hut in general, that it costs so much to make all these cards going through, and then you're just kind of stuck with them. On defense, same kind of situation. So Makar and Pronger aren't going anywhere. Either is Hedman. I like Dougie Hamilton a lot. And then these 3 I could probably change, but Doughty isn't going in. Okay, can't believe that. Doughty's not going anywhere just because I've already put so much of a cost into him. We'll finish off upgrading him, and then he's a 99. But Hamilton and McCabe are really the only ones I can change out. And then in net, I've been searching for a good goalie this whole season. Demko has been okay. I've only played champs, and I'm 13-11 with an 8-1 save percentage and a 279 goals against, which is just like, it's just what it is. Every goalie ends up being the same, so it really doesn't matter. So we'll see how we keep going, you know, over the rest of the Hut Champs run, looking for power-up collectibles to finish off Gordie Howe and get him to his 87, as well as keep chipping away at Drew Doughty. Thank you guys again for watching, though. I'll see you next episode. Have a good one.